Good evening, dear listeners. Tonight, we invite you to unwind with stories that gently cradle the spirit. We'll explore the stillness beneath the swaying reed grove, wander through the serene sanctuary of the Lotus Canal, listen to the whispering winds of the mountain lodge, and bask in the moonlight around the amber lagoon. If you find comfort in our tales, feel free to like or subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy what we share here. We love to know where you're tuning in from and what the time is for you right now, as it helps us feel closer to you in these quiet moments. As you settle in, perhaps dim the lights and cozy up under your covers. Let the day slip away as you prepare to drift into the gentle embrace of our first story, where the reeds sway softly, waiting for us beneath their tranquil canopy. As twilight wrapped its gentle arms around the day, spreading delicate hues of orange and pink across the horizon, you found yourself standing at the edge of the reed grove. Here, in this secluded sanctuary where water met land, tranquility reigned supreme. The air was filled with the soft susurrus of reeds swaying in a gentle summer breeze, a symphony of subtle sounds that lulled your senses into a state of soothing calm. The narrow path underfoot was well trodden but lush, its soft earth comforting against the soles of your sandals. You took it slowly, savoring each step as pebbles crunched softly beneath you and the whispers of the reeds began to blend into a harmonious chorus that danced upon the evening air. It was as if they were sharing an ancient secret only revealed in the hushed discourse of dusk. In this verdant enclave, every breath brought with it the warm, earthy scent of the soil, mingled with the heady aroma of sun-drenched foliage. The golden light, tempered yet tender, bathed the reeds in a luminous glow, each stalk lit like a filament of deep green and pale gold, weaving a canopy that swayed gently overhead. There was a wide lagoon cradled by the grove, its serene surface reflecting the pastel palette of the sky. The water was a mirror, so still that each ripple was a rarity, delicately unfurling like gentle sighs across the silken canvas. The sun, a brilliant orb now riding low, sent shafts of light skipping across the water, a dance of fleeting fireflies caught in perpetual motion. You found a perfect spot to settle, a softly sloped bank that cradled you as naturally as a grandmother's rocking chair. You sat down, feeling the grass beneath you, yielding yet supportive, and let out a slow, contented sigh. Beside you, a tall reed lent its slender strength as a companion, swaying softly in rhythm with your own steady breath. In this quietude, time seemed to stretch like the shadows cast long by the descending sun. You watched as the breeze played lovingly with the lake's surface, caressing it into patterns and forms that shifted and renewed with each gentle draft. Tiny insects danced upon the water, skimming the surface in brief, graceful arcs before spiriting away. Birds, too, found solace in this haven. You could hear them, their evening songs threading through the air like whispers of reassurance, a chorus conveyed over reeds bent but resilient. Their melodies spoke of simple things, the slow passage of day into night, the coming and going of clouds, the cyclical embrace of dawn and dusk. As the sun dipped lower, the world around you transformed. Shadows grew longer, deepening into shades of lavender and indigo. The colors of the sky melted into one another, a fluid tapestry that stitched together the horizons of the heavens and earth. Stars began to prick the fabric overhead, timid pinpoints of light gathering in the embrace of the encroaching night. You leaned back against the earth, grounded and supported, feeling the texture of the grass, the striated press of each stalk against your skin. You closed your eyes and let the sounds wash over you, the rustle of the reeds, the gentle lap of water against the bank, the distant call of birds retiring for the evening. In this repose, clarity gave way to a dreamy haze, each inhalation drawing in the cool night air, each exhalation a soft release of the day's earlier hum. You felt the vibrations of the earth beneath you, the grounding pulse that connected you to this moment in a world that held its breath under the mantle of the coming night. When you opened your eyes again, the world had slipped further into its nocturnal garb. The moon, a tender crescent, cast a soft light across the water, adding a silvery sheen to the quiet expanse. The reeds were transformed into gentle sentinels, their shadows thin and wavering in the gentle lunar glow. Nearby, frogs began to sing, their croaks a bass undercurrent to the higher, sweet trill of the crickets. This was evening's orchestrated spectacle, every creature calling out with its unique voice, the blend symphonic in the night's soft embrace. You breathed deeply, in full with the rhythm of the grove, feeling your senses heighten and relax all at once. The air was cool now, a gentle balm that brushed against your skin and whispered across your cheek with the intimacy only a summer night could offer. Time here was leisurely, unfolding in a tapestry of sensation and peace. The reed grove held you in its soft, swaying embrace, a guardian of rest that cradled your thoughts in dreams yet told. It was soothing here, where the wild softened and home felt like a whisper of the heart made known. You imagined the reeds themselves whispering, as they often did in tales, casting seeds of stories that would root in the waterlogged earth, growing anew with the sunrise. Tomorrow these tales might sprout, but for now, they danced, caressed by moonlight and breeze. With weary eyes and a heart at ease, you let the moments blend into one long, gentle lullaby. The night deepened, the stars twinkled distantly, and peace, profound and immersive, enveloped you in the timeless breath of the reed grove's embracing care. A soft rustling came from the bushes at your back, gentle enough not to startle, but insistent enough to draw your attention. Slowly, you turned your head. There, on the edge of the embankment, a small family of rabbits had ventured out to join the tranquil evening. Their fur, a shade of soft brown that mirrored the surrounding earth, glowed gently in the silver moonlight, creating an ethereal contrast with the deepening night. The tiniest among them, with ears that seemed far too large for a body so little, hopped forward tentatively, its nose twitching as it tasted the air. You watched as it nibbled on tender shoots clinging to the bank, its delicate dining echoing the serenity that washed over the scene. The larger rabbits, perhaps older and wiser, remained still, content to observe their offspring with patient indulgence. With nothing but the night as your backdrop, you marvel at the tiny sacred moments unfolding around you, each one wrapped in the world's leisurely pace. Every detail seemed to emphasize the soft rustle of the rabbit's paws against grass, the languid dance of shadow and light across your view, and the mingling chorus of the natural orchestra that painted the air with its symphony. The sky now shimmered with 1,000 stars, their light twinkling across the lagoon's mirrored surface. You traced their reflections, following their celestial paths, each spark mirrored and mimicked by the quiet waters. This vast blanket of stars seemed to hum above, their songs ancient, carried on beams of light, traveling thousands upon thousands of weary miles, just to be part of this quiet evening symphony. A gentle hoot from a distant owl provided a deeper resonance to the cricket's rhythmic chirp. Its call echoed through the grove, a reminder of the nocturnal guardians who watch over the night's proceedings, ever watchful, ever attentive. You let the sound roll over you, settling alongside your other thoughts, like smooth stones in a riverbed. Time folded in on itself, a harmonious loop where past, present, and the whisperings of tomorrow coexisted seamlessly. You drifted in recollection and anticipation, dreaming of seeds planted not only in soil, but in heart and mind too. The air cooled further, enriched with notes of dew. It formed on the blades of grass and reeds, punctuating your night with the tangible feel of the ancient dance between warmth and chill. You relished the feeling of it on your skin, as cool as the touch of moonlit silk. It reminded you of evenings spent in the embrace of childhood summers, where nights stretched endlessly, cocooned in innocence. Nestled by the lagoon, you watched the rabbits meander back to their safe haven, leaving as quietly as they had come. Their presence, a secret kept between the earth and sky. It was a gesture mirrored by your own retreat into inner silence. That perfect internal retreat where thoughts, having shared their peace, retired to rest along with the calls of day creatures settling into night. In this harmonious world, woven from simplicity and presence, your heartbeat aligned with the slow ripple of water meeting land, with breezes swaying under starry skies, a hushed meeting of elemental forces, a universe content in its own becoming. The moon, having risen higher, began its ascent across the sky, signaling the night's deep passage. You nestled deeper into the embrace of the earth bank, feeling the gentle rise and fall of the land beneath, as though you rested upon the shoulder of a sleeping giant. Your breaths were slow, echoing the terrestrial breath where plant and soil met the sky's embrace. A sense of profound connectedness emerged, an understanding that you, the rabbits, the stars, and even the single moment were threads in the luminous tapestry of existence. Each element, sentient or otherwise, shared an intimate part of the world's grand storybook, each fulfilling a role they had played countless times before. Your eyes drooped, heavy with a tranquil sleepiness, coaxed gently by the nightly lullabies sung by crickets and the chorus of reeds. Here, within this cradle of calm, dreams wove themselves into the fabric of reality. Their presence a reminder of the lessons of days settling into reflections for night's gentle pondering. It was with a final sigh, enmeshed in dreams too profound and too softly spoken to be subject to waking life, that you surrendered wholly to the night. The reed grove watched on, a faithful sentinel guarding the horizon's secrets, embracing all who rested within its gentle fold. In the end, as sleep took you, your consciousness floated down into the pool of night's tender keeping, cradled upon the earth and wrapped in the moon's soothing balm. You knew yourself safe within the endless embrace of the land, the world, and the dreams of dusk and dawn which gently sang beneath the night sky's watchful gaze. You're safe, you're warm, you're comfortable. Let's continue our journey together. The Lotus Canal lay at the heart of an old, sleepy village, its waters a gentle ribbon of silver that caught and held the whispers of summer. The canal did not rush or hurry, but meandered quietly through the land, flanked by lush banks where lotus flowers bloomed and unfurled in the warm sun. Here, the air was thick with the scent of summer, a delicate mixture of moist earth, distant jasmine, and sun-drenched grass. As the sun began its slow descent, casting soft reflections of gold and amber across the water, the village took on a hushed vigil. Egrets stood motionless by the banks, their slender forms outlined against the shimmering surface, while dragonflies flitted with iridescent wings, their reflections dancing in the wavering liquid mirror below. Across this tranquil scene, an ancient bridge arched gracefully, its rustic stones woven with time's touch. Here, in this modest Eden, Unwind enjoyed her quiet contemplation. The evening air wrapped around her like a gentle shawl, warm and reassuring. She would often find herself here at this hour, seeking solace in the symphony of the evening. Unwind dipped her fingers into the cool, soothing waters that flowed beneath the bridge. Tiny ripples echoed from her touch, spreading outward, barely disturbing the floating lotus petals that dotted the expanse. Here, time seemed slower, each moment stretching into a luxurious eternity. On the far side of the canal, a neat little garden burst with color. The florist, Mr. Eldrin, had a special talent. His garden was a riot of vibrant hues, even when the world outside seemed muted. The sweet aroma of peonies and fragrant roses drifted on the breeze, mingling with the summer air. From the garden, an old gravel path wound gently down to the water's edge, drawing down the soft glow of the setting sun. Anwen knew this trail well. She followed its meandering route, surrounded by the soft sigh of trees swaying in a gentle dance. Along the path, lavender sprigs released their calming fragrance under the lightest brush of a passerby. The path was ancient, laid down by generations past, who had also found peace beside the tranquil canal. Further down, the canal evolved into a serene basin where small boats made of wood and twine, built by children of the village on long summer afternoons, glided gently at their moorings. There was a simplicity to them, crafted with care and the promise of small adventures on still water. Fireflies had begun their evening performance, sparking tiny constellations amid the stems of grasses that bordered the water. Their soft, pulsating glow added a magical touch, as if each floating light carried with it a secret warmth of memory and dreams. And when settled onto a smooth, sun-warmed stone at the water's edge, the stones, familiar to her, bore the faded carvings of someone who, long ago, dreamed and etched their wishes into the enduring rock. Even these were softened by time's gentle hand and the constant caress of the elements. The summer breeze, a mere whisper of wind, stirred the surface into a symphony of undulating patterns. She watched as the current carried away her thoughts, her eyes drawn lazily to a pair of swans, gliding slowly as if tethered to the symmetry of the moment. The air filled with the rustling of sedges and the distant chorus of crickets, their evening song rising gently into the night. In time, dusk wrapped its blanket over the canal. Bioluminescent algae, scattered in patches where the light touched gently, began to emit a faint glow, their soft luminescence echoing the quiet presence of the stars above. The magic of this place brought with it a sense of calm, wrapping around the soul like a silken tapestry of light and shade. Gradually, the ambient chorus of the canal softened, leaving only the whispering waters and Anwen's gentle thoughts. she felt the embrace of sleep begin to draw near, a drowsy sense of contentment leading her towards restful dreams. Nearby, the village lanterns were being lit, their warm, inviting glow casting pools of golden luminescence that skipped lightly across the surface of the water, mirroring the heavens in soft brilliance. The gentle interplay between light and dark was reminiscent of a painting in motion, a live tableau where colors blended seamlessly into one another under the patient, guiding hand of twilight. She leaned back against the trunk of an ancient willow, its branches lightly tickling the water's surface, tracing arcs that mirrored her slow breaths. This grand sentinel, with roots that delved deep into the canal's comfortable embrace, offered its support and presence to all who came near. Unwind lingered in this dreamscape, fingertips tracing absent patterns on the damp earth by her side, until all sensation blurred into the comforting rhythm of night. In this serene sanctuary at the Lotus Canal, the night's quiet watch continued, allowing every blessing of the evening to remain untouched and eternal. The gentle lapping of the canal sang a lullaby, its tranquil melody interwoven with the natural symphony of the night. The crickets punctuated the stillness with their rhythmic serenade, as a nearby owl added its own soft notes, sending a tender hoot that resonated through the air and whispered across the water's surface. Unwind closed her eyes for a moment, immersing herself in the soundscape around her. She let the sounds guide her imagination, painting vivid pictures of distant lands and serene adventures in her mind. Her senses opened to the world, each scent and sound weaving into a tapestry of serenity that calmed her very spirit. In the distance, the outline of the village slowly fused with the darkness, its silhouette merging with the land. Above, the first stars began their gentle waltz, twinkling faintly as if awash with the stories of the night. These celestial companions watched over the land, their age-old presence reassuring and timeless. Unwind often pondered if the canal's waters held secrets only the stars could unlock, whispering them to those who cared to listen. Her fingers brushed against a small shell half buried in the earth, a relic perhaps from a time when the canal brimmed with stories of mythical journeyers and lost eras. Unwind brought it to her ear, listening to its silent song, an ocean's echo, refined and timeless, as the world around her slipped into a gentle dreaming. A soft rustle came from the nearby tall grasses. A small hedgehog emerged, its inquisitive eyes mirroring the starlight. Pausing at her feet, it seemed to decide that no threat lay here. Anwen watched as it continued its evening foray, a reminder of the simple joys and the profound peace of harmony within the natural world. Light laughter floated from the village, carried along the gentle night breeze from a nearby gathering. The echoes of a distant tune, played softly on a flute, meandered through the air, its notes weaving through the countryside with a grace that matched the canal. This melody mingled with the balmy air, melting into the landscape and adding to the symphony of tranquility. Her mind wandered back to stories grandmother used to tell on nights much like this. Tales of the wise old owl, guardian of the forest, and the moonlit boat races held long ago by the water spirits. Each story was a jewel in her memory, binding her to the generations past and the legacy of the peaceful village. Above, a gentle weave of auroras ignited the horizon, a rare but cherished phenomenon in these parts. Their colors spilled across the heavens like flowing rivers of emerald, lavender, and sapphire, cascading gracefully, their beauty mirrored subtly in the still canal. Anwen couldn't help but smile as she witnessed this dreamlike display, feeling as though a painting of mesmerizing hues unfolded just for her. Nearby, generous shrubs of chamomile whispered to the side of a small footpath, their fragrant petals unfurling to greet the cooling night. The herbal scent, known for its soothing properties, filled the air, mingling with the fresh aroma of dew-dampened earth. As if in secret conversation, the trees and plants softly sighed, sharing tales that only the patient could hear. Anwen's fingers absently traced patterns in the earth, tiny mandalas blending and dissolving in the moonlight. Each design a meditative dance, expressing the quiet joys and peace she felt surrounded by the canal's age-old embrace. In this cherished nook by the lotus waters, Anwen found solace, her heart twined with the gentle ambience. She became part of the landscape, seamlessly folded into its serenity. Beneath the protective gaze of the willow and the watchful stars, ancient whispers guided her into a restful slumber where dreams and reality danced as one. The night deepened with a comforting embrace, swathing the village in a cocoon of quiet whispers and subtle movements. The moon rose high above, casting its luminous glow over the landscape, transforming the canal into a winding ribbon of ethereal silver. Shadows stretched and flowed like gentle ink strokes across the fields. In the quiet embrace of this nocturnal canvas, the creatures of the night stirred. A family of ducks nestled comfortably along the banks, rustled their downy feathers as they settled into dreams beneath the sheltering reeds. And when listened to their gentle quacks, which harmonized with the distant hum of cicadas, a nightly chorus that wove through the air like an age-old lullaby. The dew settled, weaving the earth with a silken sheen. The moisture caught the faintest of moonlight, adding a delicate sparkle to each leaf and blade of grass, anointed by the soft touch of night. Nature's quiet artistry unfolded, creating a mosaic of subtle brilliance. The gentle synergism of the elements caressed Unwind's senses, merging into a profound stillness that spoke volumes more than words ever could. Each inhalation invited the intoxicating mix of earthen aromas with a hint of cool, sweet mist. Her mind expanded into this tranquil expanse, becoming one with the hush. Fireflies continued to flit about, their twinkling dance casting playful shadows against rock and tree. They moved like tiny lanterns, guiding lost dreams back to the realms of hope. These guardians of the dim, with their delicate rays, created echoes of distant, forgotten laughter, a tapestry interwoven with time and space. As Unwind rested against the willow's robust trunk, she felt its gentle life pulse, a reminder of enduring strength and natural wisdom. Her eyes traced the contours of its sprawling branches, silhouetted against the star-flecked sky, a reminder that even the smallest presence could leave an indelible mark. Her thoughts drifted like leaves upon the breeze, taken in the current of timeless memories and forgotten stories. In this serene moment, she recalled the comforting tales shared around the village bonfire, the warmth of which still lingered in her heart. A sanctuary where past and present intertwined. Words of the elders resurfaced, carrying with them the wisdom of those who once walked these paths, their voices harmonizing with the gentle murmur of
felt a deep connection with these ancestral echoes, a lineage of hearts linked by this timeless place. As she sank deeper into the comforting cradle of the night, her eyelids grew heavy, surrendering to the peaceful rhythm that engulfed her. In the background, the easing hum of village life whispered on, its continuity as steady and reliable as the stars above. Dreams, subtle and light as mist, began to weave their magic, gathering her into their gentle folds. Unwind found herself cradled within a world of wonder and grace, a continuation of the tranquility she felt in the waking hours by the canal. And so the night cradled her in its unfaltering tranquility, a soft promise of new dawns and endless pathways. The Lotus Canal, with its quiet waters and whispering leaves, stood watch silently over moments both past and yet to come, as Unwind drifted into the dream realms, buoyed by the constant, loving energy of the land around her.
Your eyes grow heavy as we carry you gently into the next story. On a gentle slope nestled within the embrace of the rolling hills, there stood a quaint mountain lodge. The structure was old, perhaps even timeless, with its walls and roof made of weathered stone and silken wood. It sat at the edge of a lush clearing, surrounded by the silent, stalwart sentinels of tall pine and cedar trees, guardians of this serene mountain retreat. As evening descended upon the landscape, the world around the lodge was bathed in the deep, warm glow of a setting sun. The sky above transformed into a canvas of muted pinks and oranges, a slow symphony of soft hues blending into the endless expanse of blue. The air was fragrant, filled with the earthy scent of forest ferns and wild flowers swaying gently in the breeze. Each breath was soothing, as if nature itself whispered secrets of tranquility in soft undertones, calming to the core. In the lodge's open doorway, a flickering light began to dance across the worn floorboards, spilling out into the twilight. Inside, a crackling hearth sent waves of warmth that reached into every corner, wrapping each room in its gentle embrace. The flames, though small, were lively and full of a quiet energy, casting soft shadows that played across the stone and timber walls. A gentle melody enveloped the lodge as the wind murmured through the trees outside, rustling leaves in a soft chorus of nature's lullaby. The sound was rhythmic and enchanting, a natural song punctuated by the occasional friendly chirp of a cricket song, lending its voice to the growing night symphony. Inside, a robust wooden table was set by the window, laid with a simple spread. Fresh bread still warm from the oven, cheese that melted at the touch with a soft, nutty flavor, and a bowl of ripe summer fruits. Plump berries and sweet, juicy peaches. Their colors were vibrant in the waning light, and the scent they released was intoxicating, a promise of nourishment that beckoned. Nearby, a pot of mild chamomile tea wafted gentle clouds of steam into the air, infusing the space with its calming aroma. A chaise longue was positioned before the fireplace, upholstered in the kind of fabric that invited touch, bearing the soft texture of well-loved furniture throughout the ages. It pulled one into its comfort, urging legs to stretch and relax while nestling deep into its plush embrace. From this cozy vantage, the room opened like a picture book, sprawled out with the whimsical details of a place rich with history. Shelves lined with worn books, whose pages held stories of old and quaint artifacts gathered over lifetimes, each item telling its own soft-spoken tale. Through the window, the scene beyond was one of peace. The sun had dipped below the horizon now, leaving a lingering glow that painted the sky in soft sapphire. The first stars began to peek into existence, shy pinpricks of light dotting the heavens in slow succession. They twinkled gently, mirrors of the hidden sunlight that had begun another journey elsewhere in the world. There was a small porch that wrapped around the front of the lodge, its sturdy beams sheltered beneath a canopy of ivy. Here, a wooden rocking chair waited with open arms, its gentle movement inviting moments of reflection in time with the rising of night's mists from the valley below. As the chair creaked softly, the sound mingled with the rustling leaves, adding to the tapestry of serene ambience. Above this porch, the mountain loomed kindly, a guardian of the serene vale. Forest paths trailed up into its dense bosom, winding passages that crisscrossed through the brush and meandered alongside hidden streams. These paths were lined with wild thyme and daisies, tiny blossoms that released sweet fragrances with each step, joining the moist, earthy scent of the woodland soil.
gentle glow of fireflies beginning their dance. They moved like stars fallen from the sky, hovering close to the ground, their light a soft rhythm to the night. Each pulse of luminescence lingered softly, imprinting a trail that flickered like dreams. As if on cue, the nightingale began its evening song, a melody that filled the cool air with warmth, its soothing notes weaving a blanket of sound that wrapped around the listener as securely as the arms of the chair. Inside the lodge, the glow from the hearth softened even further, painting the walls with golden hues. The play of light and shadow softly mingled, creating a restful backdrop against which the gentle rhythms of evening life carried on unburdened by haste. Time slowed as one got lost in the textures and sounds of the place.
The soft creak of the rocking chair, the padding of footsteps across the old wooden floors, and the quiet rustle of pages turning as a book was settled into lazy perusal. All these sounds collaborated in a peaceful chorus, augmented by the occasional snap of a log in the fireplace, a reassuring murmured crackle that marked time in its own way. Out on the porch, the breeze was soft and cool, carrying with it a whisper of the forest and of the secrets it contained. Stories stored within the rings of ancient trees, sage wisdom, and a memory of the countless evenings watched by these same stars, a lineage traced in the simple elegance of a leaf's veins. As stars filled the sky, their light brushed gently across the landscape, inviting quiet contemplation, a moment lost in the vast tableau of night. The mountains in the distance became silhouettes, their jagged edges softened by the veil of darkness. The fireplace still crackled with its glowing embers, casting a gentle warmth that was offset beautifully by the cool touch of evening air. It was a time for ease and reflection, of gentle thoughts and deep breaths, punctuated by the simple act of being, merely a presence in a quiet world, an observer in the gentle night. With the night deepening, the ambient sounds cocooned the lodge further into its embrace. The nocturnal chorus outside persisted, a soft reminder of life unfolding in rhythmic cycles beyond worry, just nature's assurance somewhere beyond sight, yet ever present in sound. And in this cocoon, under the benevolent gaze of the night sky, the lodge stood timelessly, the keeper of its own quiet tales, each whisper of wind through the trees an echo, every shadow flitting across the walls, a memory of all the nights and all the watching stars. The scene was a sublime expression of tranquility, a timeless night at the mountain lodge, where the whispering winds carried the dreams of the wanderers who had paused their journeys to rest, nestled within its gentle, enduring embrace. As the last streaks of twilight gave way to the inky depths of night, the world around the mountain lodge grew selectively vivid in its quietude. The sound of an owl's call echoed softly across the vale, a haunting, melodious note that punctuated the serene atmosphere with its presence. Its call was one of many, part of an ancient nocturnal dialogue that threaded through the night, among the boughs of trees and across the whispering grasses. On the lodge's porch, the gentle hum of conversation soothed like a lullaby. Two friends, enveloped in the contentment of shared silence, occasionally exchange soft words that drifted away with the breeze, carrying their camaraderie into the night air. Their mugs of chamomile tea resting gently on the wooden rail steamed in the night air, releasing their herbal warmth as they cradled the vessels in their hands. The rocking chair continued its gentle rhythm, the creak of the wood seemingly synced with the breathing of the lodge, as though the structure itself sighed in contented pulse with its inhabitants. Nearby, a small table bore a lantern draped with a softly glowing halo, its light delicate but insistent against the darkness encroaching from the world outside. A blanket of stars unfolded above, swirling galaxies of faint light, painting the heavens in a kaleidoscope of constellations. The Milky Way stretched its luminescent path across the night sky, a celestial river cascading over the landscape with fluid grace, leading adventurous souls' imaginations into the endless abyss of space. Each star twinkled with a gentle light, a soft whisper of reminder that the universe, vast and unending, cradled small and serene moments like these within its grand narrative.
the occasional snap of twigs underfoot announced the discreet passage of some small, unseen creature embarking on its nighttime errands. The scent of dew began to blossom on the air, that fresh, elusive smell that speaks of dawns yet to come. It mingled with the ancient scents of pine resin and earth, grounding the senses in the reality of the mountain's embrace. This heady mixture was tender on the lungs, breathing life and relaxation into every inhale. In the lodge's cozy interior, the ambience continued to embrace with its warm touch. A calm breeze, having slithered in through slightly opened windows, toyed gently with the flames in the hearth, causing them to dance to a muted, crackling tune.
They cast fluid shadows that leapt and played across the stone hearth, etching temporary tales onto the canvas of the lodge, theater of fleeting dreams and forgotten whispers. Books, long holding tales both grand and humble, lay open yet silent upon tables and against chairs where they had been momentarily set aside, their pages caressed by the flickering light, hinting at stories bound and ready to unfurl with the turn of a page. The air, thick with a calming sense of soma, invited the mind to drift lazily. The quiet encouraged thoughts to wander as meandering paths of the mountain, less burdened by the constraints of destination or time. Eventually, the night deepened further, and with it, the allure of tranquility grew, wrapping all things in its gentle caress. Overhead, the moon rose and began its quiet watch over the slumbered world below, casting its silvery sheen across the hills like a benevolent guardian. Silence, as substantial and comforting as the lodge itself, settled like an invisible blanket over all, warming the bones, soothing the spirit. The very air seemed motionless, yet alive with potential for dreams and reveries as soft breaths marked time in the space. Life's usual tempo seemed suspended in this rarefied atmosphere where the lodge stood, a testament to enduring peace. Each moment unfolded seamlessly into the next, suspended as a perpetual sumptuous memory chain unraveled gently in the idyllic hour of serenity. Here in this place, time itself seemed to stretch and yawn, relishing the quiet moments unencumbered by urgency. Each tick of the lodge's old clock merely a gentle heartbeat in the pause between tomorrow's dawn and yesterday's sunset. The lodge's existence whispered only this simple truth:
In the world of ceaseless wonder and swift activity, there remained pockets of calm, welcoming the weary to find rest and renew, to step out of time and simply be. Nestled within this comforting rhythm, guests of the lodge found themselves surrendering to the embrace of night, their hearts tuned quietly to the collage of evening soundscapes, all woven into lullabies by a universe in peaceful slumber. Beneath the steady watch of moon and star, dreams took flight on the tendrils of night's gentle sigh, promising sweet landscapes unknown to the day.
Let your breathing slow and allow yourself to follow where this next story leads. In the velvety quiet of a warm summer evening, where fireflies languidly drifted like wandering stars, the air was thick with the scent of sun-baked earth and sweet honeysuckle. Nestled in this tranquil landscape, the amber lagoon lay tucked away from the bustle of the outside world. It was a place where time seemed to decelerate, where the water shimmered with a golden hue, as if capturing the last whispers of the day. The path that led to the lagoon meandered gently through the soft, undulating landscape, bordered by thick hedges of wild roses. Their petals, pale pink and whisper thin, glowed in the soft twilight as you brushed past, their perfume mingling with the liquid notes of crickets hidden in the meadow grass. The light was stretching and yawning, narrowing into long, gentle stretches of honeyed warmth, casting playful shadows against the swaying reeds edging the tranquil waters. You paused momentarily under the sprawling branches of an old willow, its limbs sweeping low, offering a natural curtain from which to observe the lagoon. Through its graceful green canopy, the silver sphere of the moon was beginning to rise, painting the surface of the water with a milky luminescence. The breeze stirred gently, carrying with it a symphony of murmurs from the lagoon, the croak of frogs, the distant chorus of cicadas, and the occasional plop of a frog leaping into the gently lapping water. Above, the sky was a deepening blue tapestry, slowly embroidered with stars flickering to life, each one like a soft sigh against the twilight. As you ventured closer to the water's edge, the coolness of the shade gave way to the warmth of stones that had soaked up the day's sun. You settled on a flat rock, its surface smooth and welcoming, still radiating the gentle heat of a long summer afternoon. The rock was one of many that dotted the shore of the lagoon, each one unique, bearing the marks of countless years nestled at the water's edge. From this vantage point, the lagoon stretched out like a sheet of glass, barely stirred by the soft caresses of the evening breeze. Tiny ripples played across the surface, casting fleeting reflections of the silver birches standing sentinel along the far bank, their white trunks dappled with patches of bark caught the moonlight, making them appear almost ghostly in the gathering dark. Your senses were enveloped by the serene rhythm of the environment. The hum of the evening slowly wrapped around you like a soft shawl, each sound distinct yet in perfect harmony with the others. The smell of damp earth and water lilies added depth to the warm air. Somewhere nearby, a gentle splash sounded, drawing your gaze to the far side of the lagoon, where a family of otters was playfully swimming, their sleek bodies cutting through the water like silken threads. Time passed in leisure, the stillness occasionally broken by the soft rustling of trees or the flutter of wings as a night heron glided silently across the water to settle among the reeds. Its elegant form was a shadow against the moon, a muted slate gray blending seamlessly into the night. Watching the heron, you felt a quiet connectedness, a moment of understanding in a language unspoken. The night deepened, the stars turning from pale silver to brilliant white, specks of ancient light in the dome of the sky. A gentle peace settled over the lagoon, each breath you took echoing the gentle rise and fall of the water. The world outside, with its noise and motion, seemed a distant memory, replaced by the soothing embrace of this natural refuge. Gradually, the fireflies returned, their presence a quiet celebration of night, winking in and out among the bushes and rising to float above the water. They formed a gentle constellation closer to Earth, reflecting in the lagoon's still water, creating a mesmerizing dance of light that held you in thrall. Perhaps the most captivating aspect of this moment was the profound quietude that enveloped you, stretching out in every direction. It wasn't a barren silence, but a full, resonant quiet, filled with the subtle songs of nocturnal life and the patient whispers of the trees. Each sound was a note in an endless melody, flawlessly in tune with your own heartbeat. You allowed your eyes to wander to the moonlit surface of the lagoon, where the light bounced in gentle arcs and shapes. These quiet movements mesmerized, drawing
you deeper into a tranquil state that felt as eternal as the stars. You could trace the arc of the moon's path reflected on the water, a line of silver that seemed both to lead into deeper water and to invite reflections of your own.
The air was balmy, embracing with a gentle warmth that seemed almost tangible, as if it held a promise of haikus whispered by the breeze through leaves, of stories and secrets shared softly with the wind. It was in this soft whisper that you found the language of the lagoon, the quiet sharing between nature and those who find rest at its edge. In the distance, the silhouette of a swan moved gracefully over the water, followed by several more, their serene glide across the moonlit surface forming an elegant procession. Their whiteness was a contrast against the deep hues of night, a moving poem of slow, deliberate grace. The stars themselves began to densely populate the sky, overwhelming in number, turning the heavens into a tapestry glittering like fields of diamonds scattered over the expanse. It was a breathtaking view that pulled gently at the heart, a reminder of the infinite wonders contained in the quiet moments of life. Your thoughts floated freely now, unattached, like leaves on a gentle stream. The melancholic beauty of the world around you weaved between dreams and consciousness, each soft rustle of the wind a page in an endless bedtime story, woven from air and night, from moonlight and rippling waters. In time, the first whisperings of dawn promised to stir, faint and far off. Yet, around the amber lagoon, the night was still deep and cradled you gently, as courageously as the most treasured lullaby. Here, where worries were meltdowns carried away by the thoughtful reach of night, you were free to simply be, to breathe in the rich tapestry of peace woven softly around you. The rhythm of your breathing slowed to match the falling rhythm of the tiny waves, your eyes fluttering gently like the wings of a moth surrendered to the silvered night. Though the story of the night would soon give way to the gently cradling dawn, the peace of the moment would remain imprinted in your mind, like the soft impression of moonlight lingering in a dream. As your eyes drooped, the amber lagoon was a world in its own, living in cycles of soft light and shadow,
whispers and sounds that lulled the deepest part of consciousness with echoes of the night. By the time the first blush of dawn heralded the sun's return, you were already adrift in the depths of tranquil dreams, where the dance of moonlight around the lagoon met your imagination, blending into the vast, telling skies of the heart. This dream, like the slow caress of evening surface light, existed in its own gentle harmony, timeless and serene, forever etched in subtlety and quiet wonder, where fireflies flickered like fading sighs and the otters continued their lively promenade beneath the starry watch of the birch trees. You were part of something larger and infinite in its stillness. Thus ended a night of moonlight and sleepy wanderers encircling the amber lagoon, each moment seamless, unhurried, a soft whisper of time that would carry into worlds resting upon the threshold of wonder. Even within your dreams, the tranquil essence of the amber lagoon lingered, weaving through the narratives of your slumber like a gentle stream nurturing your mind. The journey continued in a world unseen yet familiar, where the boundaries between waking and dreaming blurred like mist rising from the water's edge at dawn. As you drifted deeper into sleep, the lagoon transformed, its surroundings expanding into landscapes of limitless peace and possibility. You found yourself walking through lush meadows where grasses danced in whispered waves under an unseen breeze. Dewdrops clung to each blade of grass, twinkling like morning stars blanketed by the soft hues of sunrise. You wandered with a sense of lightness, each step draped in an unhurried grace as you followed the winding paths of your imagination. Overhead, the sky began its transformation from deep indigo to a symphony of pastels, hints of pink, lavender, and gold, heralding the imminent arrival of day. Yet, within this epitome of serenity, time seemed liquid, each moment a brushstroke on a canvas of memories painted in shades of tranquility. Through a gentle arch of trees, you came across a hidden grove where wildflowers stood in vibrant salutation to the first light of day. Their colors melded with one another, creating a living tapestry amid which butterflies floated lazily, their wings like stained glass catching the morning light. Each flap felt like a gentle breath, whispering secrets of the earth's depths. sunrise blossoms, its surface mirroring the transition of sky and landscape around you.
Tiny fish glided beneath the water, casting fleeting shadows along the pebbled stream bed, a microcosm of the lagoon's profound calm, encased in a delicate rill winding its way to join the broader embrace of the lagoon itself. Along your path, ancient trees stood as guardians, their bark a history of the ages etched in silver and bronze by time. Their branches reached into the heavens, entwined in dances with the sky, each leaf a note in nature's serene lullaby. As you leaned against one such majestic trunk, the rough texture beneath your fingers grounded you, connected you to the earth's steady heart. Somewhere in the distance, the tender notes of birdsong began to filter through the air, a soft symphony coming to life as feathers of light spilled over the horizon. The morning chorus lifted, a gentle crescendo that harmonized with the quiet of the lagoon, a reminder that a new day brought fresh harmonies to even the stillest of places. Deep in slumber's embrace, your journey meandered back to the lagoon. As the scene seamlessly unfolded, you witnessed the gentle unfolding of its waking moments. A heron taking flight in slow motion, its wings eclipsing the ripples below, carrying it through the pristine air toward new horizons. On the banks, reeds swayed gently, brushing whispers across the face of day, sharing secrets with the wind. The lagoon's surface began to capture the tender light of sunrise, dispersing it in a kaleidoscope of colors that danced in unison with the whispering waves. Other creatures emerged quietly from their nocturnal realms, deer softly grazing on the meadow, their movements a grounding serenity in the receding night. They watched you with calm curiosity, as if acknowledging your presence in this shared sanctuary of rest. The firefly's luminescence had faded with the dawning, but would always be etched in memory like distant stars, gentle escorts guiding you into restful dreams. In their place, dragonflies now darted above the surface, their vibrancy a celebration of a moment once unseen. As sunlight kissed the tip of the horizon, warming the earth with its golden touch, the lagoon basked in its own ethereal glow. The night's wonders retreated gently to make way for the splendor of another day. The cyclical rhythm, a promise renewed in nature's endless carousel. Yet, even as the slumber's tale drew to a close, the echoes of its peace
reverberated with the waking world, a gentle reminder of the lagoon's timeless lullaby and the softness of your nightly journey. So too would the calm of your sleep remain an ethereal thread to weave through the fabric of daily dreams and aspirations. Awake now, the memory of moonlight on the water, the rustle of reeds and lull of the breeze still cradled you in its tender remembrance. Faces of the night's dreamscape smiled within your heart, comforting as you embarked into the new day, the whispering serenity of the amber lagoon, forever your silent companion.
Good night and sleep well. We'll be here whenever you need a little peace and quiet.